Hey, bro, I know you saw that last One Piece chapter, man. They was in there talking about Mihawk and the Cross Guild. He had over a 3 billion bounty. He was real close to Shanks' bounty. And on top of that, they said he was the most skilled swordsman and then called him the world's strongest swordsman at the bottom. I guess, it finally settles that whole Shanks vs Mihawk debate at least, man. I'm glad, man, because that had the whole community bickering for years.
Well, actually, they said skilled swordsman, the most skilled specifically. Oda doesn't just say things to say them, like he was being very specific on his wordage there. He said skilled. So clearly, that means he's saying Mihawk is more skilled than Shanks, but he's not stronger than Shanks. Duh.
Okay. I think that logic is really flawed and stupid, but I'll hear you out, right? So let's just say that he was talking about skill. Hockey is a skill, right?
Well, I mean,
And if hockey is a skill and he's the most skilled swordsman, that means that his hockey would be superior to Shanks, which would indeed make him, stronger than Shanks.
All right, man, it's finally time that I get my hands dirty and put him in the ring here in this conversation. Recently, I believe it was chapter 1058 or 1057. I honestly don't know. I'm not good with numbers. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I got like a D average in most of my math classes. Not because like math is confusing to me, but because I'm fucking lazy. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we are here to talk about today is the fact that it is finally confirmed, in my opinion, that Mihawk is stronger than Shanks, and it's something that we're just going to have to live with until Oda provides us with a different answer. So first and foremost, I know that there are a bunch of Shanks fans in my comments right now with pitchforks and torches. Please relax. Please refrain from being rude. I'm not speaking matter-of-factly. I'm just saying that in my humble opinion, the fucking car that just passed me is a bitch. But but in my humble opinion, I truly believe that Mihawk is stronger than Shanks, or that there's more evidence for that right now. I want to break down my thoughts on Mihawk versus Shanks from the beginning of what I thought about it until now, and how I got to the point where I am now, where I'm just like okay with it and I'm living with it. So let's rewind all the way back to a younger version of Sensei, and by younger I mean like 2 years ago. I caught up to One Piece, and I honestly was casual at the time before I started making videos, so I didn't have a lot of agenda or a lot of things to say about a lot of things. But as soon as I caught up and I started getting on One Piece Twitter, as you know, the biggest cesspool in the One Piece community, I started seeing all the different agendas. Zoro versus Sanji, Mihawk versus Shanks. Will Blackbeard get a third devil fruit? Admirals versus Yonko. How strong is Luffy compared to Zoro? Like, there's a whole lot of different things that people were speculating on. Some things they were wrong about, some things they were right about. And just like them, I was right and wrong about a lot of things as well. But the main thing that I had a very adamant opinion on was Shanks versus Mihawk. No matter what people said, and no matter how many times Oda would state world's strongest swordsman, to me, I thought that Shanks doesn't just fight with a sword, and if he does only fight with a sword, his haki would push him to a level that would surpass Mihawk. Let me explain, and I'm gonna try to be devil's advocate here for the Shanks side as well and be fair, why a lot of the Shanks fans think that Shanks could still be stronger than Mihawk, and also what evidence they have for that, because some of them make good points. Some of them, because some of y'all niggas are literally idiots. I'm gonna be honest, like some of y'all have some of the worst takes I've ever seen in my life. I be on Twitter seeing some of y'all and it makes me want to commit not alive. Like some of y'all suck. But anyways, my point is, one good point that I think a lot of Shanks fans have about this debate is the time frame in which Shanks and Mihawk last fought. Okay, so we know now because of the film Red stuff that Shanks had a bounty of 1.5 billion berry when he was younger, and he met Luffy when Luffy was young. We also know that at that time when he met Luffy, that is when he lost his arm to the Sea King, which means 10 years passed between that point and where we're at now. We know for a fact that Mihawk did not fight Shanks any time after he lost his arm, because when Mihawk encountered Shanks, he says specifically, I'm not going to fight a one-arm has-been. He don't want to fight somebody with one arm. So they haven't fought in the 10 years from when he lost his arm to now. The big difference in then and now is a lot. He becomes a Yonko with one arm. He also increases his bounty from 1.5 billion all the way up to 4 point wherever the fuck it is now. So in a lot of people's opinions, he could have gotten stronger, and he probably did. To me, people in One Piece seem to like peak at a certain age. Like they peak around, like, to me, 40 to 50, like somewhere around that range is kind of where I feel like people get into their prime. And I guess since I think Shanks is probably like 45, 46 or something like that. I can't remember exactly. He was probably around like between 30, 35 when he was with Luffy. So I have to admit that that is a very good point that they bring up. However, we have to keep the same energy with Mihawk, right? Mihawk also is around the same age as Shanks. I think he's a little bit older, but he also had those 10 years, and he could have very well gotten stronger as well than when him and Shanks first encountered each other. The problem is Oda isn't giving us the portrayal for that. And that is the biggest problem I think a lot of Shanks fans had. Well, specifically me in this scenario. If another car drives past here, bro, I'm going to fucking lose my mind. Like, listen to that. Why do you have to be so loud? I don't understand it, nigga. Anyways, my point is, I think the portrayal was the problem, right? Because let's just look at Mihawk. His bounty, his title, you know, the way that they speak about him in One Piece is matter-of-factly, like, this is the world's strongest swordsman. He has all of that going for him, but his portrayal fucking sucks, bro. It sucks because every time we see Mihawk, he doesn't get to do the cool things that Shanks does. We can compare and contrast, right? Let's look at Shanks encountering Whitebeard. He walks on the Moby Dick. Pause, that was crazy. But he walks onto Whitebeard's ship, knocks out all the fodder on the ship, even cracks the ship with his Conqueror's Haki, then clashes and splits the sky with Whitebeard, the world's strongest man. Moving on to Marineford, Mihawk is there, fights pretty like evenly with Vista. They're clashing. He gets his sword slash deflected by Jozu. I believe he cut a glacier or something like that. I can't remember. But then Shanks shows up, stops the entire war, clashes with Akainu, the guy that just was going toe to toe with Whitebeard. And then the Marines are like, well, shit, Shanks is here. And he says that, you know, too much killing has been going on. So yeah, we'll just withdraw, guys. Like, let's just stop it, Shanks. And then Mihawk doesn't fight him. Now, I'm not saying that Mihawk is afraid of Shanks. I don't believe that at all. I think that's stupid when people bring that up. But golly, bro, why did Oda have to have that happen? Why did he have to have him be like, oh, I'm not fighting Red Hair? Because people just take that and run with it. It's just like another thing that makes Mihawk look bad indirectly. It's annoying. So me as a Shanks fan, it was always tough for me to believe that this man Mihawk is stronger than Shanks because Shanks has every single hype moment, bro. He has all the hype moments. When he pops up, it's always hype. It always looks good for him. It's never a bad moment for this guy when he's on screen, except for when the Sea King bit his arm off. But because that was crazy, like he really could have stopped that Sea King. I don't understand, but I mean, whatever. He wanted to give his arm up for the new generation. Like, okay, bro. Like, so because Shanks is cooler and has like better feats, in my opinion, on screen, I think a lot of people have a hard time just agreeing that Mihawk is stronger. There's some things outside of the feats though, but I don't want to move past them yet because we got some new stuff recently. Now Mihawk got a bounty like reveal, a very high bounty reveal. They call him World's Strongest Swordsman, but Shanks, very close to this, scares off an admiral that was already there thinking that he could fight 2 Yonko crews. But the second he feels Shanks' Haki, this nigga tucks tail and runs. Green Bull is trash as hell, bro. I hate this nigga. Again, though, all of these things going for Shanks. Then he's in a movie doing a whole lot of stuff. I don't want to spoil y'all on the movie, so I won't. But it's crazy the stuff he's doing in the movie, even though I know it's not canon. But still, it adds to hype. Moving past portrayal and feats, I want to look at an underlying issue, bro. Because I truly believe there's an underlying issue here that is just agenda. And I'm not talking about Mihawk versus Shanks agenda, though. No. I think that the underlying issue in this is the fact that it's really a Zoro thing. It's really Zoro hate, bro. Let me explain, right? How strong Mihawk is how strong Zoro is going to become, right? So if people admit that Mihawk is over Shanks, they're also admitting that Zoro is going to be stronger than Mihawk and Shanks. And even though Luffy's direct goal is not to surpass Shanks, it is a indirect goal. Like, it's one of his side goals is to surpass Shanks. So because people have so much stock into Luffy and not wanting Zoro to be close to him in the series, they don't want Mihawk to be stronger than Shanks, because then they'll have to admit that their beloved red-haired is not only weaker than Mihawk, but is going to inevitably be weaker than Zoro, which would make him very strong. If Mihawk is, let's just say, because most people have Shanks like top 5 minimum. Let's just say somebody has Shanks at 3, but then we have to admit Mihawk is stronger to him. Now you're like, well, damn, Mihawk's probably 3rd strongest in the verse, maybe even close to 2nd strongest. You could debate. That means Zoro's going to be top 3 in the verse in the series. And people don't want that to happen. They don't want him to be close to Luffy in strength in the series. They want it to be a thing where Luffy is superior to everybody on the crew. And then there's a large gap between him and Zoro, and then a large gap between Zoro and the rest of the crew. That's what people want to happen, but that's probably not going to happen, y'all. Like, y'all have to understand that, like, they're going to be close in strength. Why are y'all okay with all the other battle shonens having, you know, the secondary main character to the main character be close in strength, but not in One Piece? We got Goku and Vegeta. We have Gon and Killua. We have Naruto and Sasuke. And everybody is okay with that. They dealt with it. They're fine with it. So why is everybody upset about the fact that Luffy and Zoro may be close in strength in the series? I truly do not understand or get it. I also feel like there's a lot of Sanji fans that play here because they don't want to admit that there's a gap between Sanji and Zoro, but there is. Even though I don't think it's a huge gap, there's definitely a gap there. I don't think Sanji can compete with Zoro right now. It is what it is. That's just how I feel just looking at the story. Do I think Sanji gets super negative low diff? No, of course not. I still think it's like a high diff fight, but I don't think Sanji could go like extreme diff with Zoro yet. Do I think he could end of series? That's another conversation for another time. I personally think that Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy are going to be 1, 2, 3rd in the verse, as long as like Blackbeard dies, like Kaido dies type stuff. You know what I'm saying? But look, we'll see how that plays out. You know, that's a whole nother conversation. I think the biggest thing to take away in this is people just have to live with the fact that even though they really like red-haired more, and Shanks is definitely cooler to me than Mihawk, we just got to go with what Oda is telling us, bro. And he's told us time and time again that Mihawk is stronger, man. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, bro, but y'all niggas be dick eating anyway, so you should be accustomed to swallowing.